Huntsville High School and Community Living Huntsville welcome you to Transforming Together 2022. Transforming Together sessions are meant to be a learning experience for high school students and their families, meant to inspire possibilities and share what is available with you in our community and our school. We work together as a team for you. There are so many amazing agencies and movements that you can be a part of.
Trillium Lakelands District School Board acknowledges that these lands and waters are the traditional homeland of the Ojibwe Nation and the Huron-Wendat Nation, and now includes communities from the Mohawk Nation, the Potawatomi Nation, and the Métis Nation of Ontario. We acknowledge their stewardship throughout the ages.
We are excited to highlight Partners for Planning. They are the go-to planning resource for families in Ontario. They offer excellent content and free resources on their friendly-to-use website.
Congratulations on your graduation. This is such an amazing time of your life. Whether you feel like you can take on the world or you might need a bit of support from time to time, we hope you'll be open to thinking creatively, dreaming big, and start building the life that you want. Maybe you know what you want to do next, or maybe you're not sure what your options are. Either way, we all share some common desires. We want friends of our own, people who know us and love us and choose to share their lives with us. We want to feel we're contributing, whether it's working, volunteering, or helping our neighbors. We want to build on our passions and interests because that's what really drives us. And we want a home of our own choosing, a place that is foundation to everything else that is great in our lives. But most importantly, we want to be treated the same as everyone else and have the right to choose our own everyday life.
Most people want an everyday life, but I want to create my own version of what that means. What it looks like, sounds like, feels like, how it stimulates or changes me.
It's important for her to explore the world around her.
It comforts me too. Building my own everyday life means asking questions, finding my voice, taking risks and making choices, and having the right to choose again.
A lot of people would have given up at that point. But not me.
In my everyday world, I want to know that others get me.
I love my family, I love my girlfriend, I love my friends.
That I'm a part of things, adding something to the mix. But many of us will need to break down barriers to build our own version of everyday life and what that means to us.
The most powerful thing that we can bring to someone's life is belief. Belief can make things happen.
So, what does your own everyday life look like? Graduation is a time to dream. It's a time of possibility and a time to try out new things. Perhaps you've been so focused on school, you haven't really thought about what you'd like to do next. We have a tool that might help you dream. It's called Taking Charge of Your Life, and it's designed to spark new ideas as you think about what you'd like your life to look like as you step into adulthood. Think of it as a conversation guide for you and the important people in your life to use so that you can figure out what it is that you'd like to see happen in your life. If you visit takingchargeofyourlife.ca, you'll see that everything is laid out there for you, and it's all free. This is how it works. Bring together a small group of your family or friends or anyone you would like to participate in the conversation. 4 to 6 people might be a good place to start. You can even meet virtually. Find one person to lead or facilitate the conversation. Then, it's as simple as starting with Module 1. Watch the short video and have the conversation. We have included a workbook so you or someone from the group can jot down ideas as you work through each module. In total, there are 9 modules, and each one talks about a different aspect of life, such as, what do you like to do for fun? What are some things you would like to learn? What can you do to make new friends? Where would you like to live? What can you do to give back to your neighborhood? And where would you like to work? This is a great way to get started. And if you want more information, visit the P4P Planning Network, where you'll find lots of interesting stories about people who are living their own everyday life. Like Julian Escalin, musician, videographer, social media influencer, and employee at the Scotiabank Centre in Toronto. Or meet Brock Welton, actor and performer. Rebecca Biani is also featured in a few of the videos. Rebecca is a dancer and volunteers at the Royal Ontario Museum. And Tiffany Daw, who is an artist and owns her own condo. There is no limit to what is possible if you have the support to dream big and live the life that you want. Congratulations again on your graduation.
For post-secondary, we are highlighting Georgian College and ContactNorth. Discover more at Georgian College. Their community integration through cooperative education helps you pursue your interests and develop skills for workplace success. This post-secondary certificate program can be completed over 2 years. Georgian helps students build greater confidence, independence, and practice employable skills for the workplace. Examples are culinary, health, early childhood education, office administration, electrical techniques, and more. ContactNorth makes online learning easy.
I found out about ContactNorth through social media. It was a Facebook ad. I only had a grade 12 education at the time, and I was looking for something different because mainly working in retail. Being 42 years old and almost zero education, now I have a college certificate and gonna have a university degree, and ContactNorth's been there to help me pretty much every step of the way.
I'm a mother of 3, so I can't drive an hour to Timmins every day and then an hour back and still be a mother and still complete my school. ContactNorth really was something that opened up a lot of not only relationships for me, but it opened up a different portion of my life.
I've taken a cross-section of courses, communications, public speaking, voiceover, ebook publishing. For me and many other people like me who may have a disability that they don't have access to the same things, this is a really advantageous service.
What I was looking for in ContactNorth was an ability to work remotely. The ContactNorth Resource Center was very helpful. I had all the help I needed here, and without services like this, a lot of people would not have the opportunity to do what they want to do.
I was kind of getting ready for the next chapter of my life. Although I'm at retirement age, I really have no interest in retiring. So I explored their entrepreneurial opportunities, business planning and marketing and that kind of thing. Gaps that occurred in my formal education growing up, I'm filling in. And I really enjoy that.
When I started doing this, I was in sales, and I decided that sales was not ultimately what I wanted to do with my life. I was looking at jobs moving into management within the company that I was working for at the time. With the support through ContactNorth, I was able to complete the MBA program, and I did move from sales to a position as a financial analyst with an insurance company. So my career trajectory has changed as well, and I'm looking to move forward within that industry now.
ContactNorth I found out actually through my husband. So as he went through his schooling, I started to have a little bit more thought as to what I wanted to do because I was a stay-at-home mom. I ended up going with the social service worker program out of Northern College. It was all stay-at-home, so I was able to still maintain family life at home while the kids were in school. It's opened up opportunities that I never thought would exist.
If it wasn't for ContactNorth, I actually wouldn't have even known how to go about going back to school if it wasn't for ContactNorth. The Learning Center was very helpful for me. It felt like I was actually going to school rather than being at home taking the course. They counseled me as well, just emotionally as well, just to be like, hey, you got this, you're gonna do great. They were like my cheerleaders in a sense at the same time, so it's been a really great experience.
It has changed my life in many ways, because if it wasn't for alternative learning and e-learning strategies, I wouldn't be nearly close to where I am today in education. And I likely would have returned to school when my daughter started school last year, so I would likely still be doing my high school education, whereas now I'm doing my master's. ContactNorth constantly checks up on me still. They email me every once in a while and always see how I'm doing and how my studies are going. And it's just a continuous support.
Employment. YMCA Employment and Learning Services prepared a fun video explaining their employment opportunities. They are open during the pandemic to welcome you and help you find a job.
This may be you, going along through high school and not knowing exactly what you want to do after you finish. Sure, some things are interesting, but it feels like a big commitment to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life. And let's face it, the thought of life after high school can be pretty scary, ratcheting up your anxiety to like 1,000%. From what our parents want to our own expectations, not to mention, what if the path we take isn't exactly what we thought it would be? It's a lot of pressure, and it sucks. But you're not alone. Wouldn't it be great if we could just swipe right or left on the things that we liked and didn't like in life? Duh, doesn't exactly work that way. But what if there was a place in town that could help you figure things out? A place that will listen to you. A place where their goal is to help you become the best you possible. Whatever that looks like. Getting a job, getting new skills, one-on-one support, even additional learning and continued education opportunities. With all the necessary tools to get you on the right path to where you want to go. You're not alone. That's what the local YMCA is here for. So you don't have to go through the question of what's next by yourself. Give us a call at 705-787-0349 or find us on that Facebook at Huntsville YMCA Employment and Learning Services.
This Employment Ontario program is funded in part by the Government of Ontario and the Government of Canada.
Community Living Huntsville offers community participation and supported employment.
We offer support to adults 18 or older to connect with their community in meaningful ways. So that could be through leisure, interests, hobbies, social activities, volunteering, support with post-secondary education, or employment. So the process looks like we would sit with you, get to know you, develop a relationship with you, and then start helping you achieve some of those goals. So it could be that you want to connect with the local music scene, or you want to join a gym, or you want to volunteer with children. And so we would help you create goals around each of those interests and break down the process into smaller steps, and then support you along the way to achieve each of those. We also then support with employment. So in the employment program, we really do support you from the beginning to the end, with resume building, cover letters, applying for jobs, and then the entire interview process. We would accompany you to the interview, help you prep for the interview. Then we support you right on the job as well to learn the tasks and skills involved with the job. And then, we would help you keep the job as well if that's what you wanted. We also would help you talk to your employer, report to ODSP, all of the necessary steps in between. If you have questions or want to learn more about our programs, please reach out to me by email, julia.danks@clhuntsville.ca. You can also reach out to our Children and Youth Services team.
Next, we highlight Community Living Huntsville's Supported Independent Living Program.
Hi, I'm Chris Jordan Stevens. I am the SIL supervisor at Community Living Huntsville. The SIL is Supported Independent Living, although I like to think of it as Supported Community Living. And what we do in SIL is we support people to live the kind of lives that they would like to live in the community of Huntsville. Now, that support can take on numerous shapes, numerous kinds of sizes and differences. So the way that we support one person is completely different than the way we might support another. And the reason that's the case is because we take a person-centered approach, which means that our direct support workers are sort of take the lead of, they follow the lead of the person that they're supporting. So the people that we support let us know what their goals, their independent living goals are, and we support them to achieve those goals. So that might be something as simple as learning how to, properly clean the house or cook some meals, but it might be some more complex things like navigating mental health resources or accessing, legal aid. Sometimes we support individuals to access housing resources or move or create routines in their lives so that they're successful living independently. So like I said, there really isn't one kind of thing that we do in SIL because everyone is different and everyone has different goals that they want to achieve in their community by living independently in their community. The next thing I'd like to say about SIL, and just to give you guys a little food for thought, is that in SIL, we really take the approach that that what's often disabling to people are actually the accessibility structures in our community, right? So when we talk about disability, we often talk about people having disabilities, right? And because of that, we generally think that disability is somebody else's, problem. But in reality, what we find is that actually the community and the social relationships that are in the community and that make up the community are often not well adapted to including people with neurodiverse traits, right? So that means that in SIL, what we often find ourselves doing is supporting people to live in a community that was sort of built and structured on the assumption of their absence. And that's what a lot of people living with the label of a developmental disability and who are trying to live independently face in any community in Canada and in our community as well. And so in support of independent living, we support people to fulfill the goals they tell us they have. But the second part is that we also help people navigate systems in the community that are not always inclusive and that are quite ableist. And that's just the nature of sort of how communities have taken shape, and a lot of people are working hard to change that, including the staff at the SIL program and at Community Living Huntsville as a whole. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.